What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kicking It with Crowder. This is episode 96 tonight, guys, so I'm going to let some people join in on the conversation before we get going. We have some exciting news to announce tonight, and I'll let some more people join, guys. We'll go over our NFL picks. Basically, I'll have my division winners and my wild card picks in each division, and updated MLB standings. We'll go over the college games that are this weekend, and then next weekend we focus on college football. And guys, got some exciting news. I have sponsored with F&M Cigars in Phoenix City, Alabama, and I'll talk a little bit about them more during the show, but just wanted to shout out F&M Cigars, my very first sponsor. They have great cigars over there, huge selection. This is the Blackbird cigar right here, very unique. I'll go over that a little bit later on in the show as well when more people are on here, but man, really great news. Teaming up with them, also teaming up with Ivy Sports Bar and Grill here in Columbus, Georgia, and Greer Home Solutions here in Columbus, Georgia as well. So shout out to all three of these companies. I'm very excited to work with you guys and build this relationship together. So with that, we will go ahead and get into our show, guys. Kicking It with Crowder, guys, begins in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kicking It with Crowder, episode 96. This one's pretty special because this one is brought to you tonight. Episode 96 of Kicking It with Crowder is brought to you by F&M Cigars, right across the 13th Street Bridge in Phoenix City, Alabama. Brad Williams is the owner. Outstanding person. Have gotten to know him. He bought some furniture from me at Lazy Boy, and he is just a really, really good person. He's the store owner, and really excited to team up with them. I'll have one of their cigars each week. This is the Blackbird Unkind, and it's a medium strength stick that is handcrafted in the Dominican Republic. So, anybody who is from Dominican Republic and you're in Columbus, Georgia, you want to go get you a cigar that reminds you of home, go get the Blackbird Unkind. Has a very unique flavor because of the Brazilian wrapper, and you can purchase it for under $10 here in Columbus. So I just want to say thank you so much to them, F&M Cigars, teaming up. So thank you guys so much. We'll also, guys, give you my division winners tonight. Playoff picks. We dive into the NFC South a little bit deeper with the Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and the Falcons. Going to be a really, really fun race this year in that division. And I'll give you my week 0 picks for the college football season. There are 5 college football games this weekend, so I'm not calling it week 1. I'm calling it week 0. We'll see what we have going on there. And then I'll give you my updated baseball standings as well. And then next week is our big college football 2021 special. We'll have all my conference picks. I'll pick my preseason All-American team. I'll have my Heisman Trophy pick, award winners. I mean, I'm going to have it all next week. I'll have my playoff picks as well, and my 2021 national champion. So next week's show, if you're a college football fan, you really want to tune in next week. It's going to be a great, great show. I hope 15, 20 people are on the live. I mean, that's how big this one is. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to boost it and get it out there so more people can see it. We have 2 people on the live right now, guys. Don't forget, share this out there. Let more people see it. We're just getting started. We're just getting rolling, guys. I ordered a bunch of T-shirts this week, ordered 20 shirts, and I'm already going to have to order 20 more because we basically already sold out of the 20. So if you're interested in a T-shirt, the Kicking It with Crowder T-shirt, guys, I'm getting it in blue. I'm also getting it in gray. If you would like one, just, comment down below, and I will reach out to you about getting you a shirt, man. So unbelievable times right now. We have 3 sponsors. We got 3 sponsors this week alone. I went out there, got some, made the shirts, ordering. We're taking all this momentum, and we're going forward. So thank you to anyone who's been along for the entire ride. If you're just joining, thank you for all your support. I really, really appreciate it. So you don't want to miss next week's college football special. Going to be a really, really good show. Don't forget, you can find me on Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app. basically anywhere you get your favorite podcast, guys. I am there. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm anywhere you get your favorite podcast, guys. You don't want to miss it. I give you an unbiased opinion of kind of how I see the game of football. We do talk other sports, but football is the bones of this show. And I want to shout out the new sponsors, guys. So F&M Cigars, I already talked about them a little bit. You can get the Blackbird Unkind cigar there for under $10. Also, Ivy Park Sports Bar and Grill. That is going to be a unique situation because I'm going to be sponsored by them. I'm going to go out and do a live show. And if you know me, I've been trying to do a live show in a restaurant for about 2 years now. And Ahmet from the Ivy Sports Bar and Grill has given me an opportunity to go in there and talk sports and then do a little bit of trivia. So September 9th, which is a Thursday, and September 16th, I'll be doing a live show there, streaming on my Facebook at the Ivy Sports Bar and Grill, and I'll be doing trivia, followed by trivia, guys. So we're going to do back-to-back weeks, and then we're going to do pretty much every month. We'll do one show a month there, so you're definitely going to have to check it out. If you go in there and you mention my name, you mention, hey, Kicking It with Crowder, Tyler Crowder sent me over here, they're going to give you 10% off. Okay, so just for going in there, not even when I'm there, just go in there, tell them, you heard this ad, that you saw the ad, and that you want to eat there, and you'll get 10% off your order. So thank you so much to Ahmet. And then Greer Home Solutions, Jacob Greer, has been doing a great job, phenomenal job with his business, and I just want to help him get some new clients. So Greer Home Solutions, if you need anything remodeled, renovated, he's your guy. I mean, if you have any problems at your home, you want to make sure that gets fixed, holler at Jacob. He will help you out, guys. So Greer Home Solutions, they'll get you fixed up. All right, enough with the sponsors. Enough with kicking it. Enough with that. Let's go on and talk about football, because that's what brings us here each and every week, guys. And I could not be more excited. I could not be more excited for this football season coming up. I'm really, really excited for this NFL season and for this college football season. And I want to start a little bit in the NFC, and I want to talk about my Atlanta Falcons a little bit. So, transition period. Thomas Dimitroff, Dan Quinn out. Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot in. Matt Ryan stays. We have a couple offensive linemen coming back on the offensive line who started last year. Todd Gurley's gone. We bring in Mike Davis, the former running back for the Carolina Panthers. He's going to start at running back. Julio Jones, of course, is no longer with the Atlanta Falcons, so it just means Calvin really just steps into that number one. What's up, Dave? Thanks for watching, man. If you're watching down below, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share this out there. Like down below, guys. But if you want to talk about anything specific, let me know down below. Glenn, what's up, man? Thanks for always tuning in, Glenn. We had some exciting news, so go ahead and rewind a little bit after you get done, and we got some sponsors lined up. So we got 3 sponsors, Glenn, so be sure to check those out. But I want to talk a little bit more about the Atlanta Falcons, and they haven't looked very good in the preseason so far. Sat a lot of their starters. But at the end of the day, I think Arthur Smith is bringing a vision to this football team. Matt Ryan, he's going to be a shot in the arm to Matt Ryan in this offense. I think you're going to see a 2016-17 version of Matt Ryan. Look for Matt Ryan to have anywhere between 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, maybe 10 interceptions, 3-to-1 ratio right there. And if this Falcons team can win 8 or 9 ball games, I think that's a huge success for this team. The defense, they still need to build this defense up. They're led up front by Grady Jarrett. And they drafted a couple rookies on the defensive line as well to help out outside linebacker, and then Taquan Graham. He'll play inside with Grady Jarrett. They drafted those 2 individuals, and then they have a very strong linebacker core with Deion Jones and Lukin Foy, the former Yale college football player. He is he's really coming into his own. Had a really, really great season. I have a hard time pronouncing his name still, but look for Foy to have a huge season right there beside Deion Jones in the middle of the football field. And then in the back end, they draft a Richie Grant. They draft Richie Grant, the second-round safety out of UCF. Guy will come up and hit you. He can make a lot of plays, has great ball skills. Played at Choctaw down there in Fort Walton Beach, same school my dad went to. So Richie Grant, I really like the pick. I think if you like a player, you just need to go out there and get them. And I'm excited for the addition of for him to play in the safety group with guys like Eric Harris, the former safety from the Las Vegas Raiders. They also have Harmon, a defensive safety from the New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins. They bring in another cornerback, Fabian. They brought him in from the Washington football team. He's going to end up playing. He'll probably be the number 2 corner opposite A.J. Terrell. And then, just got to build this defense up a little bit. And defense has to perform better than they did last year. Just play as a unit and get some pressure after the quarterback. Defensive end is going to be a major key. Outside linebacker Can Dante Fowler get going again and get those 11.5 sacks that he got a couple years ago with the Los Angeles Rams? I don't know. He did not play very good last year. Had 3 sacks, and this year he's going to get paid based off of how many times he gets into the quarterback. So if he gets 8 sacks, he'll make an extra $8 million. So I think it's that kind of laden incentive contract. So we'll see what the Atlanta Falcons done. Matt Ryan's past his prime, time to look for the future. I do think you do definitely need to look for the future, Glenn, but I still think Matt Ryan has a few good seasons. He's going into year 14, new offensive coordinator. I say he has at least 2 to 3 more good seasons left in him. Yeah, you're definitely going to need to be drafting a backup quarterback in the next year or two to develop and play behind Matt Ryan. But they did just sign Josh Rosen, and they have Felipe Franks as more of a developmental type guy. So maybe you can get something out of those guys down the road. But yeah, Matt Ryan's going to be the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons for at least 2-3 more seasons. And just look for more consistency from Matt Ryan this year with Arthur Smith and this offense. You just want to have a team that goes out there and is competitive, that just plays hard. And, at the end of the day, if you don't win the ball games, you went out there and you played hard. I mean, it's just embarrassing what they put out there on the field last year. 4-12, didn't finish against the Cowboys, Bears. Had Buccaneers beat, didn't finish against them. They won the Super Bowl. So they can go out there and play with anyone, but can they go out there and finish? That's the question. So, I do not have the Atlanta Falcons making the playoffs this year. I have them at 7-10, 8-9. That's kind of what I see them as right now on paper. They added Kyle Pitts, a dynamic weapon out of Florida. Yes, I think he's going to be a very good player. I think it's going to take maybe a year or two to kind of get accustomed to the NFL. Look for him to really break out his second year in 2022. But I hope he proves me wrong, goes out there as an All-Pro this year. I really like Kyle Pitts, one of the best college football players I've seen in the last 15 years just watching him. He catches everything, touchdown machine, mismatch nightmare out there for the defensive coordinator. So do not have the Falcons making the playoffs, but that just goes to show you I'm an Atlanta Falcons season ticket holder. I'm not just going to pencil them into the playoffs. I really do not see them making it, so that's what I'm giving you right now, guys. So the Bucs, the reigning Super Bowl champs, return all 22 starters to this team. I mean, unbelievable. A lot of people, they were good last year. Of course, they won the Super Bowl, but they were 7-5 and then went on that incredible run, won 8 straight to win it all. But they're going to be even better. They're going to be more cohesive this year. They have the off-season program. Bruce Arians knows Tom Brady more. Tom Brady knows everyone on his team more. I mean, you're looking at a 14-3, 13-4 type team this year. Remember, you have the extra game added in, so 17 games this season and not 16. But, this Tampa Bay team is going to be very, very good. If you didn't get your shot last year at them, good luck this year, because I'm telling you, they're going to be really, really good. Now, I do not have them repeating. I do not have them going back to the Super Bowl. I just think that it's too hard to do. But Tom Brady's going to have this Buccaneers team as the number 1 team going in the playoffs, and I have them as my number 1 seed in the NFC. I just do not think they're going to run it all the way. I just think they'll have a hiccup in there and lose in the NFC Championship game or divisional round, and then Tom Brady and the Buccaneers will go out there and probably win the next year. So this division is very, very, very interesting. And then you have the New Orleans Saints, probably the most interesting team in this division. You have Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill at the quarterback position. Looks like all signs point to Jameis Winston. If he can just not turn the ball over, you're looking at a pretty good football player. Threw for 5,000 yards in 2019. The only problem is he threw 30 touchdowns, but threw 30 picks. 30 interceptions. That's a shit ton. And, you cannot put your defense in those bad of positions. So he's going to have to not turn the ball over. He's not going to be playing for Sean Payton. That's a fact. And I think Jameis Winston's very skilled. I think he believes in himself a little bit too much. Going back to his days at Florida State, he would just make some throws that have you question himself. But at the end of the day, he believes in himself so much that he thinks he can make that throw that's fitting it into a tight window with throwing it up to Mike Evans, and Mike Evans will make that play a lot of times, but in that last season he just threw too many interceptions. Alvin Kamara, look for him to have a really good season. Yeah, he's probably going to be have a little bit worse of a season than he did last year. He scored like 20 touchdowns last year, which is insane. But he's got the contract, and he does a lot of off-season work on his body, so he's going to be healthy and ready to roll. Saints have a really good offensive line. The question for them on offense is wide receiver. Michael Thomas is injured. Emmanuel Sanders is left. They do have Traquan Smith. What's up, Josh? And they also have a guy, Marquez Callaway, who is from Warner Robins, played at Warner Robins High School. And Marquez Callaway is a guy who was, had a good career at Tennessee, but he is kind of going off right now in the preseason. Had like 5 catches for like 100 yards, 2 touchdowns the other night. Him and Jameis Winston looked on the same page, so maybe he'll emerge as that number 1 option. They also have Adam Troutman, the tight end, the second-year tight end, who they're leaning on a lot. So this offense is going to be dynamic. Jameis Winston is going to do things that Drew Brees couldn't do the last few years. And then the defense. The defense has lost some guys. They lost Janoris Jenkins. They lost defensive end Hendrickson to the Bengals. They didn't keep everyone together, but they still have some nice pieces. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Lattimore. So they still got some guys. Excuse me. What's up, Jordan? So they still have some guys on this defense, but I just think the Saints are going to regress a little bit. I have them as one of my teams who made the 2020 playoffs. I have them missing the 2021 playoffs. You're looking maybe like a 10-7 team. That's kind of how I see it, and I have them missing, tied with the number 7 team. I'll go over them here in a little bit, but the Saints, man, I have them missing the playoffs. For the first time in a while, but I don't like the Saints very much. That's one reason I don't have them in here, but I'm being realistic when I say that they could struggle a little bit with Jameis Winston at quarterback. I think he'll put up good numbers. I think the defense regresses a little bit. No Drew Brees, and I just think they're going to miss the playoffs. And my last team in this division is a team who I think is going to shock a lot of people this year. Saints do suck, Charlie. You're right. Fuck the Saints. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the Panthers and this Matt Rule football team. Love what he's done with this roster in just 2 seasons. He's not playing around. He's going in there. He's building this thing from the ground up. They go out and they get Sam Darnold in a trade with the New York Jets for like a 3rd rounder, and he was the number 3 overall pick. Check. I think they won that one. And everyone says, oh, Sam Darnold sucks. Well, Sam Darnold doesn't suck. I'm telling you right now. And Jameis Winston doesn't suck either, Charlie. What's up, Johnny? Okay, first thing. Sam Darnold been playing for the Jets and Adam Gase the past few years. Adam Gase shouldn't even be a head coach in the NFL. The guy was terrible. Also, he had no offensive line, no run game, no weapons, played for the Jets. I really think Sam Darnold can be better. Chin is a stud. Derek Brown's a stud. They have Brian Burns on that defense, Derek Brown. They just drafted J.C. Horn. I absolutely love you did throw me off a little bit. And then Jameis Winston, I don't think he's that bad either. I think he's going to surprise up some people this year. Going to throw some picks, but he's going to throw a lot more touchdowns, get 4,000 yards passing. But, man, this defense, Eddie, is just unreal. This young talent they have accumulated the last few years. Burns, Chin, Derek Brown, and J.C. Horn, just 4 corner pieces who are all in like they're under their 4th year. Just look for this defense to take that next step this year. Sam Darnold is going to be handing off to a healthy Christian McCaffrey with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I mean, I'm telling you, this Panthers team is going to surprise a lot of people, and this hurts me saying, but I'm... All right, so I used too much power on that. That's not good. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, man. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me plug this up. Damn it. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So I ended up using too much power for that device. I ended up messing it up, but it's okay. We'll just record the rest of it like this. So, the Carolina Panthers, I really feel like they're going to take that leap this year and look for them to make the playoffs in 2021. Yes, I'm picking them to make the playoffs. The Panthers, I have them as the 7 seed in the NFC. So far in the NFC South, guys, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks as the 1 seed, and the Panthers, I have them going 11-6 and making the playoffs with Sam Darnold and Matt Rule in his 2nd season. That's my one shocker in the NFC. And I have the Saints out, and I have the Chicago Bears out. So Bears, Saints out, and here's how I have it playing in the rest of the NFL. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the number 1 seed. I have the Los Angeles Rams as the number 2 seed. The defense, adding Matt Stafford. Yes, the LA Rams are in the hardest division in all of football. You have the LA Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals, and the San Francisco 49ers, who just went to the Super Bowl. So I'm telling you, this is a very hard division, but I think the addition of Matt Stafford. Hey, what's up, Joe? The addition of Matt Stafford to this offense and just the 2 pieces that they have, on defense with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, I'm taking those guys. I think they're going to be a very good football team. You're looking at like a 13-win team this year, 12-13 win team, and I really like the Rams to win that division. Going on the number 3 team, and this is going to be a shocker, not the Green Bay Packers. I have the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North, basically because the NFC North is just not very good this year. You have the Chicago Bears in a transition year with Justin Fields. I think they take a step back. That defense is only getting a year older. And then also the Vikings, they have a decent team, but Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position, I just don't think he can get them over the top. And then Detroit Lions team that's kind of in a rebuild mode. So I'm taking the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, it looks to be his last year. I have them regressing a little bit. You know, they won 13 games the last 2 years. I got them winning 12 games this year, going 12-5. So we'll see what happens with that. And then my number 4 team, guys, the Washington football team. I have the Washington football team as the NFC East champions again. And yes, this football team is very good defensively. Offensively, they do have some question marks, but I really like Antonio Gibson. The addition of Ryan Fitzpatrick should be very good for this offense. And then just the defense up front, those 4 or 5 first-round picks, and they add the linebacker Jimmy Davis from Kentucky to that group, and then also the secondary is just nasty. So I'm telling you, I really like Ron Rivera and then Logan Thomas. Yeah, you have another former quarterback who turned tight end, who was one of the best tight ends in all of football last year. So you add him into the group with with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Antonio Gibson, just one of the most dynamic weapons in all of football. I really like this Washington team to win a playoff game this year. Yes, they lost to the Bucs last year. I like them to win a game this year, and then next year they go and get their quarterback, and then they really see what happens. So I have the Bucs winning the NFC South, the Rams winning the NFC West, the Packers winning the NFC North, the Washington football team winning the NFC East, and then here's my 3 wild card teams, guys. So I'm going with 2 teams. I'm going with 2 teams that were in the playoffs last year. That are in the same division in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan goes and gets his quarterback, Trey Lance, and we'll see what he's able to do to this football team. They were just one piece away a couple years ago. Jimmy Garoppolo has played well. I think you play Jimmy Garoppolo the first 5 games, then you go into the bye week, and then you play Trey Lance the last 12 games. So that's my pick. I think the San Francisco 49ers defense is just too talented. They also have a great offensive line. They draft Trey Sermon, a running back, to go with Raheem Mostert. They have weapons like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. So I'm telling you, I really like this 49ers team in the playoffs with the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson. I'm just basically going off Russell Wilson being that much better than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Him and Pete Carroll just know how to go in there and win games. And I'm telling you, I like the Seahawks. I didn't pick them last year to go to the playoffs. They proved me wrong. I hope they don't prove me right this year and don't make it. But I'm putting the Seattle Seahawks in there with the 49ers. And then I've already told you guys my NFC sleeper team this year to make the playoffs. And as much as this pains me, I have to say it, the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry. It hurts. It really does hurt, Falcons Nation. I picked the Falcons to go to the playoffs last year. They did me wrong. I picked them to go the year before. They did me wrong. They can't do me wrong again. I hope they make it. And you're right, Charlie. Arizona was that team I had right there, tied with the Panthers, tied with the Bears, tied with the Saints, right there. Those teams. I mean, the NFC is very deep. But yes, Arizona is very sneaky as well. The Panthers are a sneaky team, and I'm going Carolina Panthers as the 7 seed. And next week, when I give you my college football teams, I will go ahead and pick the playoffs for you. So this week I give them to you, and then next week I give you the picks and everything. Or before the season start, I go ahead and give you the picks. I like the linebackers too. They got Isaiah Simmons and I think Sean Reddick signed with the Carolina Panthers, so they lost him. But then they also have J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones and Isaiah Simmons. They got a bunch of guys. Cardinals are going to be a team that I would not be surprised if they make the playoffs, but for this, I have them missing it. So NFC guys, Bucks, Rams, Packers, Washington football team, Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers, and the Carolina Panthers. All right, so Saints, Bears out, Panthers, 49ers in. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go to the AFC now, and sorry, I had my mic kind of messed up on that last segment, and that threw me off. So I'm gonna try to get through this a little bit faster with the AFC. So the AFC, everybody knows the kings of the AFC right now are the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. They do nothing but get better in this offseason and solidify that offensive line with two picks in the NFL draft, Trey Smith and the center from Oklahoma. His name will come up here in a second. So those two guys both very well may start. They also add Kyle Long. They get Orlando Brown in a trade from the Ravens to play left tackle, and they basically turn a weakness into a strength. And then they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire to run the football, the second-year guy out of LSU. I think he'll be better than he was last year. Then you have Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce on the outside, Demetrius Robertson's back. They do lose Sammy Watkins, but I think Sammy Watkins has had his better days, but still like him as a pro football player. But, Sammy Watkins is not Sammy Watkins like he used to be, so I think they'll be okay. They also have probably draft Hilaire like
I don't know, 5th round, Charlie, something like that. 4th, 5th round, 6th round in between there. But yeah, so I have the Kansas City Chiefs basically going 15-2. I got them winning 15 games and being the number 1 seed in the AFC. And as much as it pains me to do this, I mean, I've really got a lot of the same teams that were in the AFC playoffs last year in this year. So I have the Chiefs winning the AFC West, and I picked the Broncos last year to go to the playoffs. They let me down. Yes, Teddy Bridgewater did get named the starter. Vic Fangio is really needing Teddy Bridgewater to go in there and have a nice season. Von Miller's back. Yes, Cortland Sutton's back for the Denver. They also have Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler, and they drafted Javonte Williams from North Carolina. So they have potential. This Las Vegas Raiders team, has potential as well. The Chargers team, I wouldn't be surprised if they win a bunch of ball games this year with Justin Herbert. I mean, this is a really good division as well, but I think just Kansas City's too strong right now to lose and squander this division to one of those other teams. But you're going to have a really good AFC team, and I think the Chargers would be that second best team in the AFC West this year. In the AFC East, you have, of course, the New England Patriots have ran that division for so long, but the Buffalo Bills finally won that division last year, and Josh Allen is the real deal. He is he's just got paid this offseason and just is going into his 4th year now. Him and Stephon Diggs have a great rapport out there on the field, great offensive line. I think they finally got the running back situation figured out with those two young guys they have toting the rock. So I really like this Buffalo offense. The Buffalo defense is also very good with Tre'Davious White and the great defensive line they have. So I have the Buffalo Bills as my number 2 seed and winning the AFC East for the 2nd year in a row. And the next team, guys, I'm going to go to my this is my team who, man, just doing a lot of, they did a lot on paper, and they look really, really good on paper. They may be the best team in the AFC on paper, but they got to go out there and prove it. Baker Mayfield's really turning around. Myles Garrett's turning into one of the best defensive players in the NFL. They have the two-headed monster Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt out of the backfield with OBJ and Landry and Donovan Peoples-Jones and Higgins. And they got Hooper at tight end, and then this defense, they got undrafted free agent Marvin Wilson up there on the defensive line with Clowney, and then they got some good linebackers, and then their secondary with Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit coming back and Richard LeCounte. I mean, this team is loaded, and they are ready to finally win the AFC North. And I really think they're going to get it done this year. The Cleveland Browns, yes, the Cleveland Browns are my pick to win the AFC North this year. Last year, they were a wild card team behind the Steelers. This year, they get it done, and they're division champions behind a huge season from Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's going to have like 1,800 yards, like 15 touchdowns. I really do. I think he is just primed and ready to roll. And then this was a really tough pick for me between the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans barely by a game over the Indianapolis Colts, but I have the Colts still getting into the playoffs. But right now, I'll talk a little bit about the Titans. The Titans add Julio Jones. They have A.J. Brown. They got Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Taylor Lou Allen on the offensive line. They got a really good offensive line. The question mark for them is their defense. This defense was so bad last year. Can they be better in 2021? Mike Vrabel, the former linebacker from the New England Patriots, is coaching me. They got to do better. They have to be better. But I just think that the addition of Julio Jones is just kind of too much for this for these defenses to handle. And now you have to go out there and pick your poison. Who do you stop? Do you stop Henry? Do you stop Jones? Do you stop Brown? One of them's going to eat. They got too many weapons. I'm picking the Titans to win the AFC South and barely over the Indianapolis Colts. And I do have the Colts making the playoffs, but those are my 4 division winners, followed by the Baltimore Ravens as my 5th seed. I think Lamar Jackson and this offense take that next step this year, average close to 30 points a game. Mark Andrews, they add in Rashard Bateman, Hollywood Brown's gonna have to step up this year. Look for J.K. Dobbins in his second year to really make that next step. They have one of the best corners in all of football. Marlon Humphrey on the defensive side of the football, a really nice front seven. Just really like this Ravens team, who made the playoffs last year. But I really like them to finish close to the Browns. But I have the Ravens taking that division by a game over the Ravens. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz, great offensive line, Jonathan Taylor, the all-world running back. You have some nice weapons with Michael Pittman and T.Y. Hilton and Paris Campbell on the offensive side of the ball. Jacob Eason will be their backup quarterback. I really like what he can bring to the table as a backup. And then, defensively, they have it all. They have Darius Leonard. They bring in, they brought in last year the guy from San Francisco, DeForest Buckner. He was just huge last year for them. So I really like this Colts team. Frank Reich, they'll lead this team back to the playoffs this year, and I like the Colts to win a playoff game. So I had Washington winning a playoff game. I got Indianapolis also winning a playoff game as well. And then my last AFC team guy. My last AFC team. So if you notice, those first 6 teams were all in the playoffs last year, and one thing I always do is I can't leave the same teams in there just based off, it just doesn't happen. But this Steelers team, it was hard for me to take the Steelers out because I still believe in Big Ben. I still believe in this offense, what they have with Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Johnson. They add in Najee Harris. Offensive line is down a little bit, but I think if they can solidify up front, they'll be right there with the Ravens and the Browns in the AFC North. But I had to pick a team to take out. I did take out the Steelers. They do lose Bud Dupree, but they get back Devin Bush coming off the ACL, and then T.J. Watt, and then they have Minka Fitzpatrick. So they have an impact player at all 3 levels on that defense, and then they also have Najee Harris. This team's going to still win 10 ball games. I just have them, being in a tie with the Dolphins, Patriots, and Chargers. I have them all right there, jammed right there together, and I had to make a pick, and I'm picking the Dolphins. I'm picking the Dolphins based off Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's going to make that next step, that second-year leap that a lot of quarterbacks make when they get in the NFL. Last year was like a redshirt year for him. Coming off the hip injury, major hip injury that sometimes ends people's career. He was trying to play the hardest position of all of sports last year. They have a great defense with the 2 great corners, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. They finally go get a guy who can push the top off the defense in Will Fuller. Myles Gaskin is a nice little scat back in the NFL. Can definitely get you 1,500 total yards. Catching the football out of the backfield and running between the tackles. And then, they draft a bunch of young offensive linemen, trying to put offensive linemen around Tua to protect him. So I really like what Brian Flores and this general manager has done for the Miami Dolphins. Of course, they go out and get Jalen Waddle to go opposite Will Fuller. And, man, you're just looking Tua's looked night and day better than he did last year. So those are my 7 teams in the AFC, guys. Chiefs, Bills, Browns, Titans, Ravens, Colts, and the Dolphins getting in the 7th spot with a tie with the Steelers, Chargers, Patriots. So that's how I see it going in the AFC this year. Of course, I will keep up with this, and I always stand behind my picks. So last year out of the 12 teams, I think I got 8 or 9 correct. I have to go back and look at it, but I keep up with my picks, guys. Like I said, in the next week or 2, we'll make those selections for the rest of the playoffs. But right now, I just wanted to go ahead and give you my playoff teams in the AFC and NFC. Other NFL news, guys, like Charlie said before, Teddy Bridgewater has been named the starter in Denver. Really, really tight battle there with Drew Lock. We'll see what happens. I expect Drew Lock to play at some point this year to get some starts, but we'll see what happens. Also, Trevor Lawrence was in a competition with Gardner Minshew. Urban Meyer has named him the starter in Jacksonville. Chicago, New England, and San Francisco all drafted quarterbacks this year, and all 3 are in a battle with veterans right now. Chicago, Justin Fields versus Andy Dalton. New England, Mac Jones versus Cam Newton. And San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo versus Trey Lance. So all three of those quarterback positions are something to watch out for. I think that all three veterans will start the season. I think by week 5, all three of them will be replaced. I really do. Week 6, week 5, whatever you want to call it. I think Trey Lance starts after their first 5 games. I say Justin Fields starts after like the first 2 games, and I think Mac Jones will finally get his chance after about the 4th or 5th game as well. Mac Jones is just too cerebral. He studies too much. It's going to be hard to keep him off the field, Cam. And then you have a guy like Trey Lance who missed last year because they didn't really play, and I think the game's a little fast for him, but once he gets used to it and just kind of gets comfortable, I think the sky's the limit for him and the San Francisco 49ers team. And then Chicago, Justin Fields has all the tools to be a franchise quarterback. I think he gets confused a little bit on protections. You saw that big hit that he took versus the Buffalo Bills. So you got to make sure that he understands the protection, how he sees things, because it looks like he saw one thing and then the defense did the other. So you have to make sure he's ready, prepared for that. Besides that, Justin Fields is an absolute stud. I think he'll be a great quarterback for the Chicago Bears for the future. And just a little prop bet, Justin Fields, Chicago's never haven't had a 4,000-yard passer. Justin Fields will be a 4,000-yard passer. I'm not saying it'll be this year, but eventually in the next year or two, next 2-3 years, Justin Fields will throw for 4,000 yards. So that's my NFL news right there. And these quarterbacks, man, have looked really good. If I had to rank them real quick, I'll go Zach Wilson as my number 1 rookie so far. And then I'll go Justin Fields 2. I'll go Mac Jones 3, Trey Lance 4, and Trevor Lawrence 5. Just how they've looked so far. That doesn't mean that's how I have them ranked down the road or anything. That's just how I have them ranked right now. Zach, what's up, man? Appreciate you watching, brother. Had some good news, man. I know you missed out earlier, and this is a good time to get my plug-in for these guys anyways. I have been sponsored now by F&M Cigars here in Phoenix City, Alabama. I'll be doing live shows at the Ivy Sports Park Bar and Grill, so you'll definitely have to come check me out, Zach. And then also, I have partnered with Greer Home Solutions as well, so they'll be sponsoring my show as well. So big shout out to all 3 of those companies. Just wanted to give you that info, Zach, while you joined in, man. I really appreciate it, brother. So, all right, we talked. I have my NFC picks. I have my AFC picks. Be sure to check those out. And yeah, man, so it's going to be September 9th or September 16th. I'm going to do a live show on both those nights, and then it'll be followed by trivia. You go in, you ask for me, or you tell them that I sent you, you get 10% off at the Ivy Sports Bar. You buy one of my shirts and wear it, you'll get 20% off when you do that. So just some really great people over there that I'm starting to partner with, and I'm really excited for the opportunity. So before I get out of here, guys, we got 2 things to talk about. We got MLB. I want to give you an updated standings of the MLB, and then I want to talk about the college football games that are going on this weekend in week 0. Don't call it week 1 because there's not really that many games. I call it week 0. All right, so MLB standings, guys. I want to go over the NL right now, and the NL is led by the San Francisco Giants. If I would have told you that the Giants would be the first place team the best team in baseball right now, I would have called you crazy before the beginning of the season, but it's happening. Buster Posey and Brandon Crawford are having like rejuvenated type seasons. Kevin Guzman on the bump is pitching well, and they are sitting pretty right now, 2 games up on the Dodgers in the NL West. They just don't lose. Coming in the NL Central is the Milwaukee Brewers, and they are just led with a really, really good pitching staff. 3 top-of-the-line rotation guys. And if the Braves continue to stay hot and finish where they are, they will play the Milwaukee Brewers in the first round. So going to be a really tough matchup for the Milwaukee Brewers and for the Atlanta Braves. I'm telling you, I'm sure the Brewers don't want to play the Braves. I'm sure the Braves don't want to play the Brewers. So that will be a really, really tough series. I think the Atlanta Braves can definitely win that series, just especially if they get their pitching lined up and ready for the postseason. You have Noah coming back, yeah, Ian Anderson coming back, and then of course Charlie Morton will probably get a start in there. So solidify the bullpen. Will Smith, I don't want him out there closing games, but I mean, I think he's a pretty good setup man. But this Braves team is hot right now. I've been calling it all year, man. Just win 10 games in a row. Just win 8 games in a row. And they finally did. They won 9 in a row. And at one point, they had won 13 out of 15. They did lose a little 2-game series to the Yankees. They did lose both games, but they're finally hot. Freddie Freeman is on fire, has a chance to win back-to-back MVPs if he has a tremendous last 6 weeks, like he's had the last 6. If he has another 6 weeks like he just had, he'll win the MVP again because Tatis has missed so many games. And then in the NL guys, in the NL wild card, I have the Dodgers. I have the Dodgers there as they're in a wild card spot, and then the Reds are in the wild card 2 spot. So they're a game and a half up on the Padres. So you have the Padres, Cardinals, and Philly still in contention, but right now you have the Dodgers and the Reds in the wild card spot. And how I had it going in the season, I know I had the Dodgers, Braves, and I think I may have had the Cardinals. I'll have to look back at that. I'll look back at that at the end of the season. But that's how I have it right now. You got the Giants, Brewers, and Braves controlling the divisions, and then the Dodgers and Reds as the wild card. And then in the AL, guys, you're led by the Tampa Bay Rays, who are in first place in the AL East. They're having a tremendous season after going to the World Series last year. Then you have Dusty Baker and this Astros team, who is just playing some really good baseball, man. So really like them as well. And then the White Sox, who are kind of my pick right now. They were my pick to go to the World Series at the beginning of the season. They're looking good right now in first place in the AL Central. And they also have 2 really good pitchers at the top of the rotation with Lance Lynn and Luis Giolito. So those two guys are going to be really good in the postseason. And then in the AL guys, you have the Yankees at 74-52, man. They just got really hot, kind of like the Atlanta Braves. And then you have the Red Sox at 72-56. Going to be a battle down the stretch between the Yankees, Red Sox, A's, Mariners, and the hell did I write right there? I don't even know. Blue Jays. Okay, so, it's going to be a great next 4 or 5 weeks, so I really can't wait really can't wait for that. So that's an updated standings so far, guys. And college football is finally returning. Remember, next week is going to be huge for my college football show. We'll have all my college football picks of the week. We'll have my Heisman Trophy winner, All-Americans, award winners, conference champs. I'm doing it all. My playoff prediction. You don't want to miss it. Go ahead, set your reminder. Next Wednesday night, we're going live. We're going to have a great show. I'm really excited to bring it to you guys. And then the following week, September 9th and September 16th, we'll be going live from the Ivy Sports Bar and Grill right on Veterans Parkway past Northside High School and past the Maple Mart. We're going to be going live there, doing some shows there, guys. Be sure to check it out. You mention my name, you get 10% off. You wear a shirt, Kicking It with Crowder shirt, you get 20. So be sure, if you want a shirt, let me know. DM me down below. What's up, Mike? Thanks for watching, man. Michael, going to be live at Ivy Sports Bar the 9th and the 16th, and I'll be doing trivia after the fact. And Zach wants to know, better season, Trevor Lawrence or the Jets for a better season? I'm going Zach Wilson, man. I think he's going to have a better season. I think he's a real twitchy athlete, a lot more explosive than a lot of people think, can make a lot of these off-platform type throws that the NFL is looking for. They surround him with some help on the offensive line with Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker. They're not dry fit, Zach, but they're like really soft, like a cotton, so they do kind of appear to be like dry fit, but they fit really good. I would get like an XL probably if I were you. I wear an XL and they're a little tight, so they're a large. If you're if you're an XL, it's probably what I would wear. They run a little small, so just to let you know. And yeah, I think Zach Wilson's going to have the better season. To answer your question, I just think like he is a really, really good athlete. They give him some weapons. Corey Davis looks like a stud out there. They have Elijah Moore. He had caught like 130 balls last year with Ole Miss. So I really, really am excited. Really, really excited to see what they got. So yeah, man, if you want a shirt, man, just let me know. DM me, all right? So, college football, guys, returns this weekend. I call it week 0. I'm going to give you some picks. I'll pick the winner who I think will win each game, and then I'll give you this against the spread pick as well. I wouldn't really pick these games normally, but since it is week 1 or week 0, I'm going to pick these games. Will not go against my official record. I'll start the official record. So 2019 and 2020, I had winning seasons picking against the spread. If you bet college football, you know how hard that is to do. So college football is definitely a crapshoot. It is very interesting. It's tough to bet, but I do it, and I give you the best picks I can as I possibly can. So be sure to check those out each and every week. Those will be returning next week. But just for fun, guys, I'll give you my college football picks this weekend. So we have Nebraska versus Illinois in a Big Ten matchup. Illinois are plus, Nebraska is -7. Okay, so they're favored by a touchdown. Not so fast, my friend. I think that Nebraska will win the game 31-27, but I'm going to go with Illinois covering the spread. Brett Bielema is now back at Illinois, and we'll see what he can bring to the Fighting Illini. But they already have the basketball team now in Illinois. Now they'll try to get the football team going. So I'll pick Illinois +7. I'll take Nebraska in the game. UConn, Fresno State. So Fresno State is 27.5-point favorites. I'm going to roll with them. Don't know much about UConn, but I know Fresno State has a high-powered offense, so they'll look to score a bunch of points. I'll take Fresno State for the game and the points, 27.5. Hawaii versus UCLA. This is an interesting matchup for me because, first off, Chip Kelly doesn't even have an out-of-conference win right now. I mean, he's played some tough teams, but he doesn't even have one. They're sitting at 17.5-point favorites, which is just like insane to me. I'm going to pick Hawaii with the points, with the 17.5, but I'll take UCLA in the game. I'll go 38-28 UCLA. I got them winning by 10, but not quite 17.5. That extra point plays a big factor. They could win by 17, but I just don't know if they'll win by 17.5. UTEP is actually UTEP is actually favored. They're favored -10, but they lost to New Mexico last year, and now they go on the road. I think this is a trap game, and I'm going New Mexico with the points +10. I will take New Mexico with the 10 points, but I'll take UTEP for the game. So I think UTEP gets a little bit of revenge, but I'll take New Mexico +10. And then Southern Utah versus San Jose State. Don't know anything about Southern Utah, but I know San Jose State's his quarterback is a former Texas A&M player, Tyler Stanzel or whatever his name is. So I'll take San Jose State with this one in the game and with the points. So recap real quick, guys. I have Nebraska versus Illinois. I'll take Illinois with the +7, Nebraska for the game. UConn, Fresno State. I will take Fresno State with the points and the game, -27.5. Hawaii, UCLA. I will take UCLA for the game. Hawaii with the points, 17.5 points. UTEP, New Mexico. I'll take UTEP for the game, but New Mexico with the points. And then Southern Utah, San Jose State. We'll take San Jose State with the points, -24. So -24 San Jose State, +10 New Mexico, +17.5 Hawaii, -27.5 Fresno, and +7 Illinois. That is your picks, guys, for this week. I just want to give a shout out one more time to our 3 sponsors: F&M Cigars, Ivy Sports Bar and Grill, and Greer Home Solutions. Thank you guys so much for believing in me and for giving me an opportunity. I will not let you guys down. Be sure, guys, I'm going to create an event for the trivia and the live sports show. Check it out, September 9th and September 16th. You don't want to miss it. Coming to you live in Columbus, Georgia. Support my local business and podcast, Kicking It with Crowder, guys. Episode 96. We're so close to 100, man. We are so close. Thank you so much for joining this ride, and I really, really appreciate it, guys. Until next week, I am out. Let's go.